All right, guys, we are live. Awesome. So thanks for joining us tonight on Laser Everything and our Laser Source podcast. And we have, of course, the man to your right, my left, Alex, and of
What's
course,
up, guys?
Kyle, the constant live streamer himself, and Alicia's our special guest with Pate Ranch. How you doing tonight, Alicia?
I'm doing fabulous. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be
Uh,
awesome.
Good deal. So we've been talking behind the scenes before we got going, and I just want to kind of share everybody's share with everyone your coming of origin story. Like, what got you started in the laser engraving business to begin with?
Absolutely. I started really playing around in the cricket world, like a lot of people do. They go from either cricket or silhouette, and I guess it would have been 2018. And I really liked that part of creating something. It's really the design work that kind of pulled me in. And I noticed at one of my the first craft fairs that I ever went to that people were touching it and seeing that it had that level. You could see they're checking to see if it was vinyl, and I'm like, they would walk away right after that. And I said, I've got to do something different, to get myself to differentiate myself from one or two booths down. And so I started looking around. It would have been, I guess, late 2019. I bought a Glowforge. So, they market themselves very well. They've done a bang out job of that. If you go in and look laser, you're going to see Glowforge everywhere. So they were very, marketing and promoting themselves. And so that's how I jumped into the space. It wasn't a huge amount of money to get into the first laser. And that's kind of how I started. I had it for a year and was very successful with it, but I soon found that I was limited by the requirements that it had, the depth and the Z depth and the size. But I did learn a lot on it. It's got its place in this market. It's great for somebody who's a hobbyist who's not looking for high, production quality or thick things like cups. So it's got its market. And that's really how I got into it. I just wanted to be able to make things, and the laser technology at the time was affordable for you to get it in your home as a maker, as a crafter. And it was just easy to I say easy to get in. It was I had to do a business plan. My husband was funny. He said, if we're going to spend $6,000 on a laser, what's your business plan? So we tried to lay out the structure of what we were going to do with it, just so it wasn't another expensive tool. But that was really my entry into the space was the Glowforge. And then I would say shortly after that, a year, I was like, well, I need to upgrade because I could see kind of where my skills were going. And not only that, I wanted to do bigger things. I was limited by the bed size. So I started looking at more commercial and higher end hobbyist lasers. So that's kind of how it started. And now I'm on I guess my sixth laser. You can see several of them are behind me. I've had some and sold them, and then kind of jumped on the Thunder train. So that's kind of the start of it. But
Well, and I see you have two Thunders behind you and a fiber. And what else you got there?
so
That
I've got
fiber's.
two. Go ahead,
I'm,
Alex.
I'm just super excited for you. That fiber is a Thunder Laser too.
Yeah.
Alicia just got the brand new Aurora, and it's so cool. I can't wait to see what she does with it.
Yeah, that thing is, I've had it uncrated for maybe a week. What, Alex? It was just, I
Yeah,
just got
it's
it.
about a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I went from a Glowforge to an Aeon Mirror 9, and then I saw that my holidays were coming and that my throughput was limited by one laser, because you're sitting there watching the job and you're like, if I had two, I could, be running other jobs. So somehow I talked my husband into getting another laser. I mean, I don't know. He's a great man. He's really been very, receptive into this space. So I actually called Aeon, and they didn't have anything in stock. They said it's going to be 6 months to get something. So I started looking at other brands, and Thunder was like, we've got one and we can get you it in 3 weeks. So that's where the big 63, I went from the 9. So I had a Mirror 9 and a 63 in my dining room, of all things. Very unconventional of a home. But sometimes that's how it works, right?
Yeah.
And I really just loved that 63. I mean, it was just a fabulous machine. And I just kind of fell in love with the with the design and the fit and finish of the machine. So I ended up selling the Mirror 9 and then replacing it with the Thunder 35, which was the same bed size as the Mirror 9. And so it just kind of made sense. And actually, I use the 35 majority of my jobs. My big ones I put on the 63. I tell people, if you're looking for the sweet spot, it's the Thunder 35, just because the bed size is kind of right there in the middle. And then in late last year, I ended up getting my first fiber, and you can see it on this far side. That's a Bogong JPT Galvo head, 50 watt. And I would be honest with you, I kind of dragged my feet on playing with it until Lightburn came out with the Galvo version, just because the EasyCAD was, man, y'all know it's tricky, and it just wasn't an easy jump. And so I kept waiting. June, whatever it was, I'm like, okay, one day I'm going to fire that thing up. And so now that the release came out, I've been using it like crazy. So it's been fun. And then last week I got the Thunder Aurora, and so I'm super excited to have that thing. So I've got a powerhouse behind me of equipment, and now what I need is just more time. So that's kind of been my journey. I'm kind of
say we all.
I'm a computer science nerd that just loves playing with tools and making things. I'm really a woodworker, kind of craftsman like that has got over into the laser space.
Well, I got a question for all three of you guys, actually. If you had to start it all over, what would be the first piece of equipment you bought if you started everything over again? Now that you know everything what you know, what would you start at first? I'll start with you, Alex.
I'd probably get a UV laser. Probably get a UV. Yeah, it's the most money up front, but man, they mark everything. There's literally every material's on the table from the start. Yes, your workspace is limited, right? You don't get the 63-inch bed of a CO2, and CO2s are very versatile. But with UV, you get every kind of plastic, glass, wood, acrylic, leather, metal. You're marking titanium, you're marking steel, you're marking aluminum. Not engraving it, but you can mark everything. And if I was starting like a mom and pop engraving shop and trying to get my foot into the industry, I think the UV offers that range of materials where you can literally hit nobody's going to bring you something and you say, I'm sorry, I can't mark that. You can mark everything with a UV, and that's what makes it so powerful. They're new to the channel, they're new to me, but just with the short time that I've had it, the versatility that it allows for, I think could give you a really competitive edge if you were just getting started with laser marking.
Can it mark like T-shirts as well and hats? Like
you can mark, you can mark cotton. It's gonna burn it. You know, I mean, it's still focused light, right? So it's not we're not like printing, but you know, you could. I'm sure you can. That's the beauty of the ultraviolet.
Interesting. What about you, Alicia?
Maybe like jeans. You could you know how they do jeans. Have you seen where they do jeans like that? You know, I think if I had to do it over again, I would have stair-stepped some of the smaller lasers that I had and gone to probably just the Thunder 51. If I could only get one, I would have jumped to that. If I'd have educated myself a little bit more and done a little bit more research on what would be the fit for my business. Now, you need to have some space for that, but I think I probably could have just had that one only and still had that, as opposed to me having multiple and, you know, trying to fit the lane.
That'd probably you could have just made it your dining room table.
Exactly. How many people come over at the holidays anyway, right? Once a year, just I joke, just throw a tablecloth over it and everyone can stand and eat.
Yeah, no kidding. What about you, Kyle? If you could start over, what would you start with?
It's a hard question. I've been pretty passionate about my blue CO2 behind me. You guys can see. And ever since I got the fiber, I've spent a lot of time on the fiber versus the CO2, and then the CO2 going down kind of threw me for a loop for a little while. I'm noticing there's like a natural progression of I have a CO2 and a fiber now, so now I really want a UV. So now I'm looking at those, and that's kind of been the way my brain's working. I think Alex has a great point about how UV can pretty much mark everything. And I think if you're looking at marking everything, that would be the way I would go. If I was looking at marking everything. when I first started looking at lasers, CO2 was kind of the way to go because I was mostly looking at cutting and engraving on wood and stuff. So fiber wasn't really there. And then ever since I got the fiber and started engraving on metal, it's been more what I've been doing, slate and metal. So maybe I would have started with the fiber if I could do it all over again, maybe, or UV.
I mean, the CO2 is a great answer though, because second to the UV, the CO2 I think has the most range as far as materials go. You know, fiber is very specific uses, and when you try to bend the rules, and you can, and people in the comments always jump up and they're like, but you can do wood or what? You're like, yeah, okay, you can bend the rules and do wood with a fiber, but it's not designed for it. And your marks that you're going to get with that are not going to compete with the marks of somebody who owns something like a CO2. So I think that second to the UV, I think the UV has the range that makes it really competitive as far as that question goes. And I think too, they're significantly more user-friendly than a galvo laser. Galvo lasers, there's a lot more that you need to monitor with a pulsed laser, and a lot more you need to learn. The UV doesn't even have a power setting. There's not, like, I mean, at least with the fiber and the CO2, you can set your power from 0 to 100. The UV doesn't have that. It's just frequency and pulse width. I mean, it makes no sense. It's like hieroglyphics. So, you know, I stick to my answer, but there's a lot of challenge there. I don't think that I would recommend to most people to start with a UV. That's just what I would have gotten because I'm a sadist, I guess. But the CO2 is probably the right answer.
Well, I like you know, when you have something that moves around a product, you can get a really big surface, you know, and that's what kind of got us into the whole thing was we saw that mom of the lasers channel and she's making these gorgeous signs in this giant mirror. And we're like, holy hell. You know, and that kind of got us thinking, because my girlfriend's a teacher and at her school, they have a glow forge in their, like, in their office at the school. And so they use that for fundraisers. And that's what kind of got us thinking about it. And then once I started diving in and doing research, you know, I went to the OMTech, jumped up, and then, you know, the mirrors, the thunders, you know, it's a natural progression. But my first laser is this fiber. It's the first one I've learned. We haven't got the mirror yet. So for me, I think it's better to jump in with the fiber because it's so goddamn hard.
And also the space too. You know, it doesn't take up a huge volume of space in a shop or a bedroom or wherever you're going to do. I mean, you know, a lot of people don't have room for something that big, you know, to start with.
Well, I think you got people in the comments that agree with you, Alicia.
Yeah.
Starting with the 51.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough question too, because when people want to get into laser engraving, like 80 million questions come to mind immediately. What do you want to engrave? You know what I mean? Like that's honestly, that's the first thing. Like, what do you think you're going to do? And is it for hobby use? Or are you trying to start a business? You know, and then there's the whole thing about like budget. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get so many people ask me all the time. They're like, what's the best fiber laser I can get for $500? And I'm like, dude, you're in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a thing. So, it's the context matters so much there. And, you know, just because so it's best for someone to start with a diode because they're going to be laser marking in their bedroom on wooden cell phone cases doesn't mean that that's where you should start, or vice versa. Just because somebody buys a $50,000, you know, 120 watt fiber laser doesn't mean that you need to start at that giant industrial level. There's so much you can do on the lower spectrum of things too that a lot of the more expensive machines can't actually do. So, you know, I think it's important to kind of asterisk that as well.
Yeah. When I see that question come up, Alex, on Facebook groups, I always like to ask them, what are your requirements? What do you want to do with it? So what are your budget? What are you thinking that you're going to do with it? If someone is just say something small like ornaments or, you know, small volume and your budget is maybe $3,000-$4,000, well, it starts putting them in a lane, right?
Yeah.
And then you can kind of help them. And I think that's where our community that have these groups and that have the knowledge here can help steer those people in helping them make better decisions. Is, yeah, there's lots of choices out there and there's lots of options, but really, them revealing, here's what I want to do with it. Here's what I'm thinking now. This is probably a better option for you at this stage. Because like me, I've jumped to different machines, sold them, not necessarily made money on it, but sold it in a place where I felt comfortable that I got my value out of it. And so if you don't know someone's going to really use it, like how many people get into this and life changes and they decide they're not using it and they sell them. It might be better to try something smaller to see if it's going to stick, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. If you buy a Corvette and you put 100,000 miles on it and then you sell it, you put 100,000 miles on it, instead of buying a
Yeah.
Corvette and then driving it 5 miles and then selling it 20 years later and losing 50,000 on it or whatever, there's, you gotta use it once you get it.
Yeah.
I think there's a good comment down here in the comments. He says, also you have to think about what you want to master. What do you want to be known for?
Yeah.
'Cause you can't do it all.
Excellent comment. That's an excellent comment. And you see a lot of new people getting into that trap. And honestly, I did as well. This is my 3rd year in. And I saw that the first year and a half, I was trying everything, like making all kinds of stuff. And it's like, you had all these different supplies. And then now I'm eventually gravitating to certain things. Like I like to specialize in cedar wood. We're on a ranch and I have a lot of cedar wood. And so we mill it and I like to engrave it. And we make a lot of unique cedar things. That's my specialty, right? Is that type of wood, given that rustic Texas look, and then also leather. So I don't really need something that is going to, cover all the gamut. So to his point, I honed in, I found my niche. I enjoy doing that because you can't do them all. You can't have too many product lines. So great comment on that.
Yeah, we talked about that quite a bit the last time that we had you on the show too, and it's worth repeating for sure. When people get lasers, that's like they're going into college, and when you start at college, you're trying a little bit of everything, right? And you're trying to find out what it is that you want to do. So many people in this community never stop that phase. They literally, they just see something on like Discord or Facebook or whatever, Twitter, and they're like, I need to try that. And then they spend 3 months and they get decent at it. And then they see the next thing and they move on to that.
Yeah.
And that's fine in the beginning when you're trying to figure out like, where are you going to go with this? But at the end of that, you have to like pick some things and master them. Because everybody is doing a little bit of everything. Everybody is mediocre at marking everything. If you want to stand out in this industry, you have to do something extremely well so that no one can touch you, and that's your thing. And you have to like grab a hold of that and keep it. And I don't want to like totally rehash it because we did talk about this before, but man, like just pick something and get so good at it that people can't even get close to you. That's a really big important thing.
It is. And you see that in the leatherworking space. There are some beautiful artists in the leather space, and people are like, how do you do that? And it's like, that's almost years of learning, trying, and that didn't work. And leather is a unique thing, right? Because each piece might look different whenever you seal it or you finish it off. And it's not something that you can just go, oh, I'm going to go try that and mine's going to look just as good as yours. It is a craftsmanship, and it's something that you have to hone it and practice. And people say, how do you become successful in the laser space? You find your niche, and someone says, I know if I want cedar stuff or if I want something like this, I saw it on her page or his page, and that's where you go. So good point,
That kind of
Alex.
leads into my next question, especially for you, Alex, and you, Alicia. You guys are both going in 2 different trajectories now in a way of business when it comes to business, right? So for anybody new to, like, I haven't even opened my store yet, but I think the market decides what I'm going to make more than I decide what I'm going to make. So like, how do you guys, any advice for people going out there trying to figure out what is your market, and like, how do you choose that first line, if you will, a few things you're trying to dabble in? What helped you guys kind of narrow that down for yourselves? I know you talk about we all just kind of throw spaghetti against the wall, but how
Yeah.
do you narrow it down? And I think it's all just comes to sales, of course. But you guys go ahead.
Go ahead,
Go ahead.
Alex. You go first.
Oh, well,
Okay.
I don't feel super qualified to chat about this because I ran a job shop, and I liked doing it, but people were bringing me random stuff. There was no like I didn't ever actually like make a product and sell it. Like people, I had new things coming in every day, and that's kind of where Laser Everything came from because I'm constantly being challenged with new materials, new shapes, new requirements, and new expectations, and that was the basis for the channel. So I'm grateful for it. But as far as like finding something to sell and market, and like narrowing that down from like a wide variety of things, that's something that I never got to spend a lot of time doing because I was constantly dealing with the daily, like you wake up every day and there's just something new in front of you that you've never done
Yeah.
before. And again, like I enjoyed that. I was passionate about it. So, if I didn't like it, I probably would have tried to change gears and maybe sell something online or customize something online, which is what so many people like to do. But I enjoyed the challenge every day. And then I got the opportunity to share what I learned from those continuous challenges. So, Alicia's going to be way more qualified, long story short, to comment on that specifically.
I guess for me, and I tell this to people on the Laser Lounge when we're talking business stuff. Look at your own interest and hobbies that you're currently in. For me, my daughter was in FFA, which is Future Farmers of America, so the ag industry, kind of showing animals. I knew that space. I knew what those people liked. I knew what their interest would be just because I was in it and what I would like. And so I tried to leverage that. So what would somebody like at a stock show? Because that's where I make a lot of my money on my business is I make a lot of awards for animal awards for stock shows and stuff like that. My kid went and I knew what she got. And so what would they like to see? And I knew that market space. So I think if your children are in soccer or football or whatever, and you start leveraging to the places where your community is, you already have an outreach and network, you start marketing to them, they know you, they trust you, that's how you can kind of get in and find your lane. I think when people open it up too broad and say, I'm going to make all these products and I'm going to make tumblers, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, you don't find that uniqueness where you can build relationships with people. This is just my own experience. I felt that you can start building relationships with the networks and your like interests because that's what you would buy, right?
Right.
So all the Western stuff, the turquoise, some of the leather things, what would I look for in a coaster that is a leather coaster that's going to go with some whiskey or some whiskey stave thing? I personalize it, and that's what I market to. So that's kind of how I've done.
I can't help but think that if Matt Bodiford was here, he would be like just chomping at the bit to talk about how he uses his leverage in the education industry to make relationships with those people. These are his coworkers and his peers, and he sees these people and talks to these people every day. And he identified a need that they had, and the relationship was there. Relationships are so important. And this is a very local first kind of approach rather than like an online marketing approach, but it works. It's effective. Local markets are often overlooked. And, that was one of the beautiful things about the job shop too, is that, while we weren't filling a need product wise, we were filling a need service wise. And so those people that were bringing stuff to us weren't bringing us glasses from the Dollar Tree for a 8-year-old's birthday party. They were bringing us the glasses they used at their wedding. And there's kind of like some inherent trust there, and you build relationships with those people too. So whether you're making a product and fulfilling a need or offering a service and fulfilling a need, those relationships are key in either of those situations.
I'm going to add one more thing, and then Kyle, I'll let you jump in because I don't want to steal too much of it. But I will say that my external website and my marketing of my products is very weak, and that I don't even have the bandwidth to take on more if I did have an external website right now, because I've done what Alex just said. I've marketed and I built my network and I'm getting enough orders coming in that's really all I can handle right now. So, I mean, I would love to have a fancy website and get it up going, but I would be dying right now just because of what's coming in. And I think it's okay for makers to know you need to have in your mind, like, I only want to sell 3,000 or 5,000 this month or 7,000, whatever it is. Set your target there and be happy with that. Don't just chase, I need more orders. I need more orders, because I put a meme out on the Laser Lounge the other day. It was like, I went from a 9-to-5 job to a 24/7 job. You still need to keep the balance, right? Our family is important to us. We don't want to take on too much. I caught myself doing that in the first 2.5 years of this. So knowing where to throttle it down and careful how much you do market out there, it's a fine balance. So
Worse off than Alex was for being qualified for answering this. I'm even worse. I didn't actually even make it that far. I went to go start my business, and I ended up working for Alex instead.
Oops. Sorry.
You feel the need.
Darn, I did.
You did.
I changed gears. So
That was a need was filled based on a relationship.
yes,
Exactly.
true.
Yeah.
That's called a circle.
Instead of working to fill orders, I work to help the community and make educational content.
That's important. I mean, I mean, it honestly is. You know, when I look at my husband and I talk about this a lot, about the streams or the fingers or the swim lanes of money that you can make, or even just contribution. You may not make products, but if you make digital files, there's a ton of money in digital files. And there's a lot of money in teaching and coaching on how to do this, right? So where your success comes from in this space is different for each of us, right? Like, I look at it and say, yeah, I may not be making 200,000 a year from this side business, but I get more value from helping somebody online or helping them start their business and helping them solve something. And that's just the way I'm wired, right? And that fills my bucket. So there's many different ways, but I'll tell you, the digital file space is another place, because a lot of people, what I observe, they don't know how to design. And that's what really got me into this, is the design aspect, to be creative and make something. I don't have as much time to put into that. I would love to, and that's really one of my target goals. Probably will be next year, is to do more files, because it's really neat to sit there and watch. Oh, I get up in the morning and I sold, 16 files last night, and yeah, it may only be $10, but man, that adds up. So don't underestimate how much you can make from an Etsy shop.
And Keith here in the comments, 8 months on Etsy, one sale, electronic file, $1,600.
Yeah.
That's called passive income, folks.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go and look at, there are some really good designers, and you go and look at their shop, and you can click how long they've been on Etsy and how many sales. Go look at an average of what their files sell for. So let's say $5 or $6. You go do the math, and you're like, oh my God, that girl just made $250,000 this year, or since she's been open.
And
That's
the
nothing to
beauty
sneeze
too,
about.
you make the file one time.
Correct.
And it's done. That is done, and it makes money forever. It doesn't. You don't have to keep making it over and over and over again. If you make your leather coasters, they can be the most beautiful coasters in the entire world, but you have to freaking make them every time you sell them. That digital file, man, you throw it up. And not to derail the conversation, but I would like to just shamelessly plug that if you are a file maker, we're looking forward to having you on the Laser Everything Marketplace, which is going to be launching very soon. We're finally in like that home stretch. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So keep an eye out for that. Sorry, shameless plug.
No, that's good.
Yep.
I'm just excited that you got that thing ready to go. It's at a perfect time for me personally. Like, me and my girlfriend, we're getting ready to start everything, and we're like, where do you go? The hard part is finding suppliers too.
Yeah.
A trusted vendor, so you're going to have pretty much the Amazon of laser products.
Yeah, everything is curated, like very, very highly curated with a fine-tooth comb. So it's not just like, a free-for-all. Our vendors have to apply. They go through an
Yeah.
approval process. It's typically people that we have relationships with. So, you know, I'm feeling really good about it. But like I said, I don't want to derail the conversation, but it just
No, no, no,
came to
you're
mind, and it's relevant because these people need outlets. So, you know,
They do. And
Etsy's very big.
yeah.
Well, I'm sure you're gonna have a big announcement. That thing gets ready that people can
yeah.
apply to become a vendor if that's what they want. That their jam is making files, man. That's
Yep.
probably gonna be the place. That's where I'm gonna go.
That's going to be one of the places. Yeah.
You know, so that's I'm just gonna be looking forward to that website. I'm gonna have that sucker saved as a bookmark.
Totally.
Bookmark in my thing.
Totally.
Yeah. So there's been some good questions in here. In the comments. So Regan said, "What motivates you to keep going when you are low or feel like quitting, or maybe that burned out kind of phase you can get with that hustle? That grind does wear you down. You're not impervious. So how have you guys, met that challenge?"
I think for me, and it's really timely because I did it this week. I put all of the orders on the back burner, and I just stopped and did some creativity design work on making something. Funny enough, I've got 7 pallets sitting on my land of whiskey staves. My husband, he ordered a ton of whiskey staves from Kentucky, and he was like, "Hey, babe, I got a great deal on these. They're going to show up." And now I have all of these whiskey staves. So I was like, I got to figure out how to get rid of these whiskey staves. So taking that time to be creative and do something that I normally wouldn't do, like just go fill mundane orders, that allows me to fill my bucket of the engineer in me to go make something, right? And so I sat there and brainstormed for a couple of days, and then it hit me, and then I came up with this idea, and then I told him about it, and we went and kind of perfected the process of getting it down to it'll only take 3 minutes to make this widget that we can sell. That brings me back to kind of filling my bucket on when it gets mundane and I'm just kind of tired of doing orders. That's where I love about this space is to take the tool and your brain and your mind and make something. That's what I do. I'll just put the orders on the back burner and go spend some me time with the stuff, really.
That's so positive and bright. I love that. I'm the complete opposite. I sit in my dark cave and I stare at the wall and I consider the consequences of what's going to happen if I don't get my ass in gear and pull something off, because I am not going back to a 9 to 5. Like, you will drag me by my heels, kicking and screaming. If I ever make a dime for anyone else ever again, it'll be the last thing that I do.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It works
Yeah.
for me. It really does, because I've done all of this work, and my wife and I have sacrificed so much to get our business off the ground. And if you don't figure it out, like, that's on you.
Yeah.
It's going to crumble in your hands and it's gone, and that's it. So I get really dark with it. It totally motivates me, as crazy and weird as that sounds. I just kind of got to get my head in the right space and be like, you need to pick it up and you need to start getting some stuff done, because you're falling behind, and like, this is riding on you. And the other half of that too is that every time that I try to take a break, and I do from time to time try to take breaks, I just see the people. You know how this is, Alicia, I'm sure, and Kyle even, the people in the communities who need you. You know what I mean? They need your help, and if you try to walk away, like, they're still there, and someone hasn't answered their question, or someone hasn't helped them, and they're sitting in their shop having a panic attack because they just bought a $6,000 laser and some simple thing isn't working, and it would take 5 minutes or less of my time to just pop in and just be like, this is it. It's super easy. You're fixed. You're good to go. But I'm taking a break. So, and I just like, but that gets into my head too. So then and it's like, that could be a video, or like, this should be a Facebook post. And so that stresses me. That stresses me out back to working from the stress that made me want to stop, so it's kind of like a tug of war on that, but I'm still alive. I haven't had a heart attack yet, so I would try Alicia's thing before we try mine.
Well, I'm very fortunate in that my husband is very involved. He's more the business side of this and will keep me in check, right? And says, we need to move money over, we need to do this. And so I get to be more creative and can I don't take on as much as, like where Alex might be thinking about it, just because I've got James doing it for me. But you're absolutely right. You need to this is a business. Either you're a hobbyist or it's a business. And if it's going to be a business, you need to run it like a business or it's going to fail. Right. And what do they say? Most small businesses fail within 5 years, I think it is.
2 years. 2 years.
Oh, it's 2 now.
Is it 2 years?
It's getting worse.
Okay.
It's getting worse.
I thought it was 5. Yeah.
Yeah. Restaurants are 2 years or less. I think it's like 80% of restaurants fail in 2 years, and other small businesses up to 5 years for the average for some other industries. It's 2 to 5. Yeah.
We really try to run it like a real business, whereas it's side hustle, but we try to act like it's a real business. We do look backs every year at the end of the year, actually at the end of every quarter. Did we meet our target? I look at my numbers probably once a week. Where am I compared to last year? Is that okay? Or should I be pushing? Should I be doing this? What did I do wrong? Did I buy too much stuff? I'm a habitual hoarder of blanks, so I got to slow down on that, right? I've got a lot of inventory. Obviously, I buy too many tools. So we look at it as a business and we plan, right? We do our strategic plan at the beginning of the year, and we try to meet those goals. So it's exactly what you need to do if you're going to run it as a business. That's what I try to teach the people, or not teach, but show in the Laser Lounge, so that new people who don't have some of those skills or don't know. I've been fortunate enough to be in the business world. I'm bringing my knowledge from that so that they can use that, and it's like a freebie. And to Alex's point, I remember sometimes I'll go into town. I have a half-time job at Chevron as an engineer, and I'm off when I can't log in. And people are like, where did Alicia go? It's the same thing. One day you're not logging into Facebook and people are like, what happened? I knew something was going on. It's like sometimes, you got to disconnect just because your day job. But
and I'd just like to throw out too, by the way, since Alicia brought it up, this is why Alicia and I get along so well, is because I am very technical and dense on the YouTube channel for like instruction. And Alicia has this brain that is just so good at thinking about the business of laser marking. And she brings up stuff that I just don't think about and that we don't cover on the channel. So we're like best friends for that reason, because our content interfaces really well together in that way. And even though they're on completely different platforms, I mean, if you guys are listening to this and you aren't already part of the Laser Lounge, you should join. It's down. You can see the link down there on the scroller, facebook.com/groups/Laser Lounge 1. You were saying Laser Lounge was taken by a laser hair removal place.
Yeah, it's like, no, I don't do hair removal. No,
yeah, so definitely check that out, guys, even if you're subscribed over here, because Alicia covers like a whole different world of stuff over there that we just barely skim the surface of on Laser Everything. So
I appreciate that shout out.
Every one of her links and the Laser Everything links are all in the description box. All of them.
Yep.
So it's all right
if you
there.
don't mind, I'll give you I want to give the background on why I chose that name.
Yeah.
I really wanted the Laser Lounge to be a place that people could come, all walks of life, all skill level, and learn something. Just like if you went to a coffee bar or, a wine bar or whatever, a whiskey bar, and you just sit down with some people you don't know, or there may be people you know, and you sit around and you talk and you share information, you laugh, you maybe vent a little bit, or you say, okay, yeah, that stinks. Everybody's done that. That's the vibe I wanted it to have. I didn't want negative culture. I don't want people like trying to be rude to each other. Just the fun culture that you have and the vibe when you go hang out with your friends at a coffee bar, and then you walk away learning something or figuring something out, or I'm going to go try that. That's what I'm wanting that community to be. And so I think we're headed in the right direction, and happy with the way it's developing. And we have fun.
Your numbers are proof of
Crazy.
that. They're like a tangible proof of that. What did you get? You guys have been up for a month now?
We've been up for 2 months, and we're at 5,400. So
Whoa.
we're averaging about, yeah, we're doing pretty.
Kyle, when
Actually-
did we set up the Laser Everything Facebook page? Guess.
Maybe 6 months ago.
Okay, I'm at 2.5K. So there's something there. Like you've got it. You've got something going on, you know?
There's two things, and I will hound on the power of your network. I leveraged a lot of the people that I had been good to or had been good to me, and said, "Hey, let's build this up. Share. Come bring your stuff." Every time we have on Wednesday, it's Whiskey Wednesdays. It's when you can self-promote in one thread. I reach
Yep.
out to all of my people in the area that I know that have web pages or sell stuff. Come put your stuff in here. It's that giving, right? I give more than I take. And so I think that has helped with building that thing up. And then the other thing is I want to share technical. A lot of people just want to share their products. I want
Yep.
you to learn something. I want you to learn how to do that technique from beginning to end. And so when we started this, I said, look, I want to surround myself with people who know more than me. And I
Yep.
think I'm doing that. I brought in yourself, two other people that are experts in certain areas. And it gave them kind of a space to where they felt comfortable sharing their YouTubes and sharing their content. And they are a higher caliber. And so I want people to come to this place to go, this is a level up Facebook group. That's what
Yeah,
we want to
Exactly.
be.
Yeah.
Value speaks for itself, no matter what form it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
With everything, supply and demand. it's just that
Surround
simple.
yourself by people that are better than you, and you will become better.
Yeah, you don't be the big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
There's no room for
Correct.
growth there. And I think for me, like, I would say that growth comes from challenges and failures. So you can't be scared to fail. You can't be scared
Right.
to just be wrong. It's okay to be wrong, because
Yeah.
just don't repeat the same mistake. That's called
Yeah.
learning.
I think, that's where I think that my day job trickling over to this has helped, because as an engineer, you get things wrong and then you go and perfect it. And so you have to be humble and say, my way maybe isn't the best way. Like, I've put things out there and someone has said, hey, this way will save you more time and this is better. And I'll go, really? And I'll learn from it and I'll change my way. You need to be that way in this space, right? Because there's 9 ways to skin a cat, right? I mean, you can do it many ways.
I get really frustrated too, because it's
Somebody's like moving baking cakes back there or
Here,
something.
watch this. Point.
Well, he's working on that. I'll share my my experience
Yeah.
with what we were talking about. When it comes to getting frustrated or having a bad day or just feeling run down on tasks and stuff, sometimes it helps to give yourself a little break. Take 5-10 minutes, or like the live stream on Friday, where I took like an hour and a half and we just did some destructive testing on Slate. That was more for me. That was a good time hanging out with friends in the community, and it's and got some learning experience out of it while I was at it. So
Yeah.
and then I go back on LMA or the Discord group, and I answer questions and try and make other people's days better.
Well, I will say too, guys, my original podcast was the Mindful Skeptics, because I'm all about mindfulness and mental health, especially for men. It's stigmatized. You're weak. You're lesser than. All that bullshit labels. It's exactly what it is.
Yep.
I've went to counseling for 3 years to kind of figure out who I am. I think mental health really matters. So if you're feeling burned out, listen to your body. It's going to tell you. If not, it's going to show up, and it's going to morph into something else that's going to be bad for your health.
And I was gonna say, like, one of the pet peeves that Miranda and I have developed when participating in laser communities is that there is a problem with people not knowing things, and I just despise that. There's this fierce hostility when people are new and don't know the answer to something or don't know where to look for something, and you get the people that are like, God, why don't you just look it up? Or like, how do you not know this? And that drives me absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Nothing boils my blood faster than that. So we try to create those spaces where people can not know and it's okay. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to know anything. You could come in, you could wander in and be like, hey guys, what is a
Yeah.
laser? I don't even know what a laser does. I printed t-shirts for 10 years and I want to
Yeah.
try something new and I don't know anything about it. And our people in our communities, both of our communities, will sit down and take the time to explain it to you.
Absolutely.
Nobody's going to say that you're an idiot. Nobody's going to
Yeah.
tell you should have looked it up or done a search first. And when on the very rare occasion that they do, those people get removed because we don't want
Yeah.
that kind of energy. You know,
No.
but we're all here to help each other. Everybody was new once, and there's nothing wrong with not knowing, even where to start looking. A lot of people want to do the research on their own and don't want to bother
Yeah.
people and ask questions, and they don't know where to start looking. And sometimes it takes 3 seconds out of your day to just point them in the right direction kindly. So, you know, I think that's really important too. You don't have to know everything. And I think a lot of people are afraid to talk. A lot of people are afraid to speak up and participate in these communities because it's a very common occurrence in the laser space that newbies are treated that way. And it breaks my heart because I want people to participate in conversations and ask questions on the Discord and reach out when they need help, you know, and, you know, thankfully we have the Laser Master Academy, which I think has really evolved into a safe space where people can not know. But in some of the public areas, even in our own Discord and Facebook group, you can definitely still feel there's tense air there where people don't necessarily want to let on or express that they are confused or frustrated or lost on a specific topic. And, you know, I just can't bear to see that. So.
Yeah, the
To me, it's-
philosophy I kind of take with it is, it's kind of like when I was in college. They say if you're helping someone, you're tutoring them, you learn by repeating what you're teaching someone else.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And I've helped people that are stuck on something and learn something new myself. Right. And then it makes it easier for the next time.
Yep.
And to your point, Alex, we have no room for that type of attitude in our community. I call them douche canoes. We get rid of them. You're going to be like that, you're gone.
Yep.
I mean, because it needs to be a safe space, right? We
Yeah,
should come here and be able to say, I don't know how to find the center of that board with my laser if it's homing to the left.
Yeah.
Help them. There's, you know, so
Yeah.
go ahead,
Yeah.
boys. Sorry.
Well,
No,
to
it's,
me,
it's totally true.
Well, for me, this is like learning a foreign language. All these terms are new. Gantry, Galvo,
Yeah.
you know, UV, fiber laser. I know what the hell any of this stuff was 6 months ago. I did a lot of research. I'm a researcher. I want to buy it once. And so that's why I went, and it took us months to find things. But then you go to buy it. Now you're like, okay, now I got to learn stuff.
Yeah.
And you're just in this learning phase and gathering phase. But if you don't know the lingo, it's hard to ask the right questions too. So I think that's what's very good about the Laser Masters Academy and the Discords and the Facebook pages.
Yeah.
You can sit back and just listen first to learn the lingo, and you have time. You don't have to jump in there. If you're kind of an introvert like some people are, you can say, okay, you know, what the hell does that word mean? You can go look it up real quick and say, ooh, dang, oh, that's what that means, and kind of still be in the conversation without feeling exposed or nervous, or, you know what I mean, like to be embarrassed for not knowing, because some people have a lot of reservations about that. Like
that's where I am with fiber right now. I mean, it's still new to me. Still learning. And you know what I've done is I'm hooked up with May Armstrong. She's in the same place. She's a little bit ahead of me, and we just kind of share. Okay, have you tried this yet? Or tweak this, do that on the side. And we've kind of teamed up as learning at the same space by asking each other, and we'll do a lot of YouTubing, educating ourselves. And then we may bounce that idea off each other. But even if someone may look at me and go, oh, she knows everything about lasers. Not in the fiber space. It's a whole new animal for me. So.
Yeah. And, you know, we're kind of the opposite over here at Laser Everything too. We are very Galvo focused, and thankfully I have Kyle, and Kyle's going to be starting so, you know, we have the laser, the light burn for Galvo crash course we've been working really hard on lately. In August, Kyle's going to be starting the light burn for gantry crash course, and we'll be able to start exploring some of those topics. But a lot of that stuff is new to even me. There's a lot where I've had my lasers far longer than Kyle, and Kyle understands these gantry issues far better than I do. I don't think there's anybody who knows everything. I think that's
Yeah.
ridiculous. And,
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to agree with you earlier, by the way, but I really do think that the best way to learn is by teaching people. And I think that's why people have the perception that we know so much.
Yeah.
And it's just because we repeat ourselves
Yeah.
so often, and it really burns it into your brain. So
Yep.
if you really want to master this equipment, join one of these dozen communities or so that Alicia and I have between each other. And there's some other good ones out there too, and help people.
Yeah.
And you will learn. You will learn. You cannot help other people without learning.
And you learn
so,
from other people's questions. You learn from their
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
big one for me.
Yeah.
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 I just like the idea of a community because so much of this business is online. And that's when
Yeah.
people lose that personal touch. And I think that live streaming, making content like this, having a living, breathing community online is very helpful to, again, with that blues, that kind of recluse type of lifestyle of sitting in front of a computer next to a laser, just getting to work, and it's very small. There you go.
Yeah.
I think that's helpful for mental health too. To be part of a community is what
Yeah.
most people are seeking anyway. So
Yeah.
I think that's a healthy thing to have, is a community. Keeps you going too. Even the bad days, you make a mistake, you lose money or whatever it is, time and money. You can always recover.
It's what I think what it is too is I got to spend 2 or 3 days with the Thunder crew and a bunch of people that knew lasers, love lasers, like we are here, and we just talked shop, and it was so fun just to talk about, hey, what settings, or what are you doing here, or how did you do that, or I didn't know that, I didn't know that the system could do that. It's that common interest of people that you wouldn't even think would have the same interest in talking about things that they're doing with them or how they've used it or different techniques. It's that relatable factor, right? It's fun to do that.
Yeah. So is it okay if I do a couple of rapid fire questions for you guys? I got a couple of fun questions set up. Okay. I'll start with you, Alex. What is your favorite food?
Oh, pizza. Done. New York style, extra cheese.
Perfect. Alicia.
Toppings are for crappy pizza.
My favorite in my family, what can attest, is a steak, a big tomahawk steak. I can put down a very good steak, and it has to be grilled with real charcoal on a smoker. None of the gas stuff works.
Kyle?
I'm a round man. Shape is round. I like food. That's hard. My recent hook lately, chicken and broccoli stromboli.
Huh.
Not
sucker
bad at
for
all. Sorry, I just clicked on the wrong thing. There we go. What is your top 3 favorite movies of all time?
That's not a rapid fire question. That's a freaking philosophical argument for the ages, man. I know what number 1 is. I know what my all-time favorite movie is. I can give you that. The subsequent movies I could debate over. The greatest film ever made by mankind is The Empire Strikes Back. That is the best movie of all time. So that's my number 1 favorite film. But the others, I mean, that would take quite a few decades of debate for me to settle on.
I would say for me, the Star Wars movies are great. My family loves them. We watch them as a group. We even went to Disney World for my daughter's graduation trip just to go to Star Wars Land. So that's how deep we are here. So I love watching that. And then I like funny stuff. I'm not a huge movie person, but I do like funny stuff. So I like to watch Superbad with my daughter, and then Pitch Perfect was pretty funny. I could hang out with Bad Amy. We could be friends.
I love Pitch Perfect. That's one of my favorite movies, actually, really too. I will watch a good Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
Nice. Kyle?
I don't know if I can narrow it down to movies, but so the new Star Wars TV series like Mandalorian.
Ah,
Big fan.
yeah.
So good.
Very good.
They did a good job with it. Very happy with it. I'm not
Yeah.
even. I like Star Wars. I'm not even that big of a Star Wars fan, and Mandalorian ended up on my top list. I'm also a sucker for Harry Potter films.
Okay.
Followed by Fantastic
Someone-
Beasts films and Marvel films, but
Someone
now
call
we're getting
Miranda.
past top 3, so I gotta shut up.
We
See, I gotta
named our
stay-
puppy Mando after Mandalorian. So
Now that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Good
real
name.
cool.
I like it.
See, I'm a big Quentin Tarantino fan, so I just think Pulp
Ah.
Fiction is one of the best movies ever made. Just how he plays with the script, he throws it, he reorganizes it, makes you think about it.
Yeah.
And a movie makes you think, and you have to watch it twice to understand it. I think is a challenging thing to do. So I'm
Yeah.
a huge fan of Pulp Fiction. I'm a military guy. I'm a veteran, so I think Full Metal Jacket is just awesome. Just for a little bit of comedy and a little bit of sadness at the same time. To be honest, but just disgusting. But then, of course, I'm a huge Avatar fan. I think Avatar is a significant movie. It's my kids' generation of Star Wars. Like for them, it's Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars guy. I grew up with it. But for my kids, they see Avatar. That's their Star Wars, if you will. And they got a couple more coming out, so we'll see if they can actually back it up.
In every group of people that gathers in the world, one of them loves Avatar. Just like just without fail. Like always. Like, sometimes you'll find a group of people and none of them like Star Wars. Sometimes you'll find a group of people and none of them like Lord of the Rings. There's always one person in every group of people that loves Avatar.
That's me. I think it's a pretty cool movie.
The ride
but
was
yeah.
cool at Disney World. I know that.
Let me think. Where does the other one go? Okay, and two more questions. One, where is the one place you want to visit on planet Earth you haven't seen yet?
I am a weirdo. Most people want to go to islands and bake in the sun and play with dolphins or whatever. I would really like to go to Antarctica and like kick it with the penguins for a little bit and like see some whales and stuff. I love cold weather. I love ice. I love blue. I love things that live in the water. So that is like a really fine mixture. I'd love to go on like one of those scientific expeditions as just like a civilian, just to hang out for like 3 weeks or whatever while they put a new sensor pole down and then sail back. I think that would be just a brilliant adventure.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm probably someone who would like to go to Spain, drink a little wine, do some, walking around, some touristy thing. That would probably be my one place that if James said, "Hey, let's go somewhere overseas," that would probably be it.
Nice.
Nice. What about you, Kyle?
I think if I was going to go on vacation, like a vacation away from my home country, I think probably Japan or somewhere
nice.
in Asia.
It's a good
Yeah.
answer too.
Yeah.
I'm a big culture person, and so I want to go to New Zealand to see the Maori
Oh, that would be
perform
cool.
a haka at a rugby football game, and that shit gives me goosebumps, man, because those people are
Nice.
like the last relics of a warrior tribes, like seagoing warrior tribes. And I think that's a pretty cool thing to hold on to that tradition. And like I said, I just love the cultures that are surround. Like same thing in Japan, you have a whole culture there. There's just a lot to it. I think that New Zealand's a beautiful place. This is where Lord of the Rings was filmed. Another cool thing about it. I think New Zealand's a gorgeous place. That's my personal one.
Sweet.
Okay, last question is, if you can come back as an animal, what would it be and why?
Fox. It's the perfect blend between a cat and a dog. A fox. They're sly, they're fast, and they look really pretty. Sounds like me. I've been asked that before.
I'm gonna say a badger. I'm a pretty tough chick. I mean, I am. I feel like I can take on a lot and ask for help when needed, but I'd probably be a badger.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
What would you, Kyle?
Maybe an elephant.
Wise.
I'm slow. I like to absorb and learn. and to some degree share my knowledge as best I can.
Peaceful.
And yeah, it's like my spirit animal.
I like it.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's nice.
I would just say a dolphin because you can go to all the dolphins are in all 7 seas, and I just think that water is awesome. You can see any
Nice.
part
Yeah.
of the planet, and there's dolphins there for the most part, and they're an intelligent mammal.
That's true.
Yeah.
Even though we
Yep.
butcher them and destroy them, which is a bad thing. But yeah, I think those are all fun answers. I think those are fun. Just get to know you people kind of
Yeah.
questions that people you don't ever ask that stuff to
Absolutely.
people. They want to pick your
I
brain
like
about lasers, not about movies
Yeah.
or culture.
I had a question for Alicia that
Sure.
I don't know if I can ask this yet, so you can say no comment if you'd want to. But way earlier, I saw a question in chat about somebody asking if you had a YouTube channel or if you just did Facebook.
Oh yeah.
And I know that you're planning some video content. Can we talk about that yet?
Absolutely. Yeah, we
Okay.
sure can.
Please do talk. Please do talk about it. Obviously, I
Yeah.
already know, but I'd love for you to share that.
Yeah. No, thanks for teeing that up. I do have a YouTube channel, and the plan is twofold. We're going to do 2 things. I'm sharing videos on how to make stuff from beginning to end. So I want to open the full thing, right? Some people like to show, oh, look at this great, whiskey head I just made. I want to show you how to buy it, how to clean it, how to engrave it, how to prep it, and how to market it. That's one aspect that I want to do. And then the other aspect is I'm going to start hitting the road and filming and interviewing people, makers that are successful, or going to like the Arctic, facility where they sell tumblers, taking an interview around there and seeing what's in the shop. Going to Thunder Laser. They're opening up their new facility, Thunder Laser USA. They're opening up their new facility in October. Giving you guys some eyes to see what these places look like. They don't have the opportunity to do that. So I
Yeah.
do have a YouTube page, and we'll drop the link here. It should be in here. And
Yep.
please come join. And any of the videos that I share in the Laser Lounge, I put on the YouTube so that we can get that other audience in Facebook.
And of course, I am spamming the Laser Lounge constantly with our instructional videos. I'd love to see some of that content come over to LE too.
Oh,
on
that's
our
awesome.
Facebook
Yeah.
page. I would love to see that. I have a couple comments on your YouTube channel. One, I adore the fact this is something that you and only you have done, at least as far as I've seen, which is that every channel on YouTube that revolves around laser engraving is, here's a cutting board that I made, here's how to engrave it, and a video. And you don't see what's happening over here, and you don't see what's happening over here. And your stuff brings those into frame, and you can see how, it's all of it. It's not just the engraving part. We're talking about the making and the finishing too. And that's so important because I from my own experience trying to learn, have gotten immensely frustrated trying to learn how to do this when so many different engraving applications do require prep work and finishing work. And I've actually I've kind of almost become obsessed with perfecting laser marking to the point where I don't need to finish it because I can't find anybody to help me with those other parts. So I think that's really, really key. And
I appreciate
the other
that.
thing, the other thing is when you go on your super tour, I hope that you give everybody my business cards so that we can have them on the podcast when you're done with
Absolutely.
them. I need those scraps. You can send them over to me because we'd love to have them on too. But that's so cool. I can't wait for you to do that.
Yeah,
you've
absolutely.
Got just great plans. Yeah.
What I'm thinking is, like Guy Fieri that goes into kitchens, right? Into different restaurants. That's what I want to bring to the laser community. You got this great sandwich that everyone comes here for, this Philly steak sandwich. Okay, well, you've got this great, niche that you do. Show me your, how you do it and what changed, the envelope for you. How did you do different? Bring it. Don't make it about me. Bring it about them, right? That's what I think the laser community wants to see.
Triple
so I appreciate
D,
that
I think
feedback.
that's killer. Yeah, I think that's amazing. And you guys should absolutely go subscribe over there right away. Do we have that link in the description? I'm not sure if we do. If we don't, we will get it down there for you for sure.
To which channel? Because I have all her links in there already.
Alicia's
It's
YouTube.
the YouTube.
I just don't
it's
know
in
if
there
we
as
had
well.
that one queued up. Yeah, okay, beautiful, great. So it's already down there for you guys. So definitely don't skip out on that because she's going to be I know she's gonna be doing some just amazing stuff over there.
Well, a little
Especially
advice
with
for you too.
with the fibers coming now.
Yeah.
You want to go into your YouTube channel and make a custom link so it'll have your name instead of a bunch of random numbers and stuff. It'll be
Okay.
easier to
I can do that.
customize that.
See, always in learning mode. You always find out something new from somebody every day, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're about going to wrap it up for the interview section here. And Alex, you want to do a little after hours LMA content, right?
Yeah. So I don't think it'll be live because I don't think that I am geared up for that at the moment.
Okay.
Maybe next time we'll do a live, but we'll probably jump into recording and you guys will see it tonight because I don't ever edit those. They just kind of go up raw. So if you want to continue hanging out with Alicia and me and the guys over here, definitely go sign up for the Laser Master Academy. It's the #1 way to support the channel. All of the information that we provide as Laser Everything goes up on the YouTube channel for free. When you sign up for the LMA, there's no hidden course or thing that's locked behind a paywall for you to uncover. We don't sell anything to you like that. We can produce content for free on YouTube because people support the channel via the Laser Master Academy. So if you're already an LMA member, thank you so much for supporting the channel, allowing us to continue doing what we do every day. Yep, you are on there. And if you're not, please consider going to check it out. You can find out more about how to do that over at masters.lasereverything.net. And of course, I'm just going to keep plugging for you, Alicia. Check out our YouTube channel. Join the freaking Facebook group. Doesn't cost a dime. You can sign up, for her Facebook group. It takes 2 seconds, and you're in, and you're getting value. So there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be in there for that. So that's what I got.
Make sure you turn on notifications, guys, on your YouTube stuff because
Yep.
that helps the algorithm. It helps everybody else's content get out there to more people. If you have the notification set for your phone, as soon as the video comes up, click on it. You don't have to stick around the whole time if you're busy, but it does help their algorithms to trigger that thing in the first couple minutes.
Yeah.
That's all about helping each other by just viewing our content that we make on these things helps us. Every one of us have a channel of some sort. It helps. Like you said, costs you nothing.
Yep.
Just click on a bell and ring up. Yeah.
I've had a great time tonight. Thank you so much for inviting me, and this is always fun. I love just kind of the, just discussion short like this, and how's it going, and I appreciate the invite. So it's always a great time with you.
It's so great having you on, Alicia. You're such a blast to talk to. I just love the cowgirl attitude. We need to get it. We need to get that going on up in here more often. So we'll have you back on really soon. I'm sure.
Absolutely, would love to.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, Alex, you want me to?
Yeah, close this out. We're done, dude. I'm done.
All right, guys. I can't wait to do it again next time. When's the next live event you got coming up here, Alex?
Next live event, so I have 2 scheduled actually. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. we're having an LMA Q&A, which is just me doing technical support live. So we'll have that going on, and then there will be a follow-up to that on the 28th. It's the same exact thing, except at 9 a.m., so it's in the morning for people that missed the night show. So we got those 2 going on. I'm sure Kyle's got a Friday live day up his sleeve. I don't know what we're doing for that yet, but we're doing something. So we'll do a Friday live day with Kyle, and then we'll be back for the podcast next week, I'm sure. So just so that everybody who's listening knows too, this new voice over here, he's so busy introducing everybody else, but nobody's taking the time to introduce him. This is Boyce. Boyce is in charge of our social media now, and he's taking the reins on the podcast because, again, he has Mindful Skeptics. He's got a lot of experience in this area. Amazing job hosting the show, by the way. I feel so much more comfortable being able to just relax and talk to the guests and answer questions than having to host and do that at the same time. It's been so great having you here, man. So everybody, big shout out to Boyce for taking over the podcast project and breathing some life back into it, because I miss doing it and I just haven't had the time. So I'm so glad that you are on board the Laser Everything team now, and we have this opportunity to do the podcast again. It has been really, really great. So thank you so much, Boyce.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, the TikTok channel, the Instagram, and the Twitter channels are all going to be getting way more active now. So we're making clips of all this stuff and more content of the live streams with the actual making of products and stuff like too. So I'll be making lots of clips for all our different channels for that. It's gonna be a
Yeah,
fun
I hope to
little
see some of that
project.
Mira 9 on the Laser Everything social soon.
Guys, I get it tomorrow.
Yeah, it's coming.
I charged my
Anyway.
Sony camera. We're ready to go.
Oh, look at that. But yeah, dude, that's okay. That's the last thing. I swear I'm
Yes.
done. You can close out the show now. I'm so sorry.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. See you guys next week, and make sure you join all the links in the description box. All right, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank
Lasers.
you.